Welcome to another happy sunny day in Thailand. And I've got a fun, short little video for you today. In fact, it's mostly audio. So I've been following this podcast called Ride the Lightning, the Tesla Motors Unofficial Podcast. Ryan McCaffrey is the host, and he's been doing this for over 5 years, I think. He's up to episode 288 and has not missed a week, and I give him props for his dedication. Every week he gives us Tesla news, financial analysis, product updates, and then also has a section where listeners call in with questions or comments. And not only is he got great information for us, but he's also caught some very, very high-level interviews with people like Elon himself, Franz von Holzhausen, who's the chief designer of the cars, Sandy Munro, who's famous for his manufacturing efficiency and build quality video for his company, and he's got such impact in the market now that Elon actually responds to Ryan's tweets when Ryan asks him a question or tries to clarify a point about something about the cars or the company. So there's a lot of good information here every week. And on episode 276, he was talking about, let me see if I can scroll down here. There we are. So in this episode, he was talking about the fact that the Shanghai factory was starting to build right-hand drive models for perhaps the Hong Kong market. So I left a message for him about my experience with importing and the pricing of electric vehicles in Thailand. And he just published my comment and his response in a special monthly Patreon-only recording that he does, which is kind of overflow calls or calls that are not super topical, and he collects them all at the end of the month and plays the comment and the response to them. So I have that now. I will play it for you in its entirety, my question and his response. If you've watched some of my previous videos about the situation for electric vehicles in Thailand, it's pretty much what I've already told you. So let's go ahead and listen to my call and listen to Ryan's response.
Going next to another Michael, Mike in Thailand, who's been a longtime listener, wanted to talk about his experience as a Tesla enthusiast in Thailand. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey Ryan, Mike here. I'm an expat living in the royal beach town of Hua Hin, Thailand. I've been with you since episode 2, and thank you for the outstanding coverage of all things Tesla. I wanted to send over a little insight from this part of the world. Your story in episode 276 about right-hand drive cars coming out of Giga Shanghai was music to my ears. Thailand is also a right-hand drive country, and I've been waiting a long time for Tesla to come here. There are quite a few Teslas that have come in on the grey market from Hong Kong or the UK, but there's no official service for anything goes wrong, even under warranty, and of course, no superchargers. The super great extra fun fact around this is that Thailand is very protectionist, but it has an agreement with China that allows imports of Chinese cars with 0% import duty. This might not seem like a big deal, but the I-Pace, Taycan, Mini Cooper all have an 80% import duty, and even the Leaf has 20%, which used to be 50%, and that makes these cars staggeringly expensive. The China-built MG ZS EV gets the 0% duty, and it's a really good car. If Tesla didn't exist, I would already own one. I only have an electric scooter here that I charge with solar power from my condo balcony, but I can't carry anything big, and getting caught in a monsoon downpour isn't much fun. There are also some rumors that Tesla will do some manufacturing here with really big government EV incentives that have just come into play. Fingers crossed Tesla opens up here. I'll be first in line.
Mike, thank you very much for sharing your experience. I'll tell you, I'm always interested to hear about what Tesla life is like in other places, be they domestic or international, because as I've said before, for better or for worse, I think mostly for better, but I am lucky to live right here by Tesla HQ. Like, I'm definitely in a Tesla bubble. Tesla is perceived differently here. Its awareness is very high here, relatively speaking. So I'm always curious to hear about what life is like with Tesla in other places. But the question I was hoping to have answered as I listened to your call was whether or not the Shanghai-built Teslas would qualify for the 0% import duty. It sounds like they would, but as you said, no service centers, no superchargers, which would certainly make ownership it would have a bit higher degree of difficulty than you might like. So here's hoping that Tesla does indeed officially enter your market soon. And thanks so much for your call. Appreciate you listening to the podcast.
He came back and said that perhaps I wasn't clear enough, and that did I expect Tesla to get the 0% import duty? And I wrote back to him and said, yes, I fully expect Tesla to get the 0% import duty, but it's going to take Tesla officially setting up shop in Thailand. I would not be able to import one car as an individual because that's nearly impossible in this country. You can get the podcast, you can listen here at teslapodcast.libsyn.com, directly off the web, or as every podcast says, find it wherever you find your podcasts. I personally use it in an app called Dog Catcher on my Android phone. It automatically pulls the feed down every week for me, and I just play it directly off my phone. Hey, if you found this video interesting, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like my other content, I'd appreciate a subscribe. Take care and see you next time.